Everybody, this is Manisha. I head coaching for Shenomics. I have with me Divya Martin, and welcome to yet another episode of Conscious Coaching Conversations. Today, we're going to be talking about mindful personal branding. Hi, over to you, Divya.
Thank you, Manisha. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us on our live session. This is the first time we're going live on LinkedIn for our conscious coaching conversation, so we're very excited as well. And hi to everyone who's watching us on Facebook as well. I'll just dive deep into this because this is such an interesting topic, honestly. The whole element of personal branding and how mindfulness, actually plays a role in this whole element of personal brand. So, Manisha, tell me what your journey has been like, right? Especially in the journey of branding yourself and being aware of mindfulness. How did that come about?
Thank you, Divya. And I'll just kind of take the liberty of going back in time a little bit. So the first time I heard the term personal branding used seriously, or when I registered it, was maybe 2004, 2005, and I started working, a couple of years before that. So, as young, fresh, I felt there's too much going on, but I registered that, okay, this is something I need to do. But because there was the element of doing involved, it was like one another thing, and I felt some resistance within me. Then, fast forward 2 years, that's when I got introduced to coaching. And this was a role at Dell where I was heading a team of coaches, and I underwent a certification on coaching. And more than anyone else, it helped me because that was the beginning of my journey of self-awareness. So some of the reflective questions like, really, how do I look at my identity? Who am I? What's my purpose? That started happening. And I think that was foundational for me. Um, and so that kind of began the connection for me with personal branding, as in what's personal for me. And I think the magic happened when mindfulness came in, because that's when three things really stood out for me. That really I was able to internalize from mindfulness. And that was, continuing the self-awareness from that had started for me with coaching was, okay, being really highly aware of what am I doing to live my purpose? How is my way of being? And that was an aha moment that, okay, what can happen is my branding can be an outcome of my way of being. So that took away the burden of doing. Like I was looking at it, this purely personal. Not everyone looks at it that way. But for me, that was a block that I have to do one thing extra. I'm already doing 10 things. And the second thing was bringing in intentionality in whatever I was embarking on in my way of being. That, okay, how am I being? Is it aligned with my values? And when that happens, you automatically kind of project yourself in a way that aligns with your vision, your purpose, your goal, your values. And the third thing is being present, which helps build a presence, another element of personal branding, because when you're present, you build presence. And I felt that, if I can be so present for the person in front of me that they feel heard, seen and understood like never before, that becomes a very memorable experience, which is branded in their mind. And therefore, it's personal branding. That's how I kind of, um, you know, um, that's how I interpreted it in my mind. And when it becomes memorable, I stay in their minds, they stay in my mind. So why I feel that mindful personal branding truly becomes, magical. And for me, it's a continuous journey. I won't say I've arrived at, my ideal brand, but I'm enjoying the process of, discovering it and putting it out there in a way which really, really feels true and connected for me. But I would love to hear from you, Divya. How has it been for you? And what do you think has changed now that we don't meet people in person and things are virtual?
Yeah, likewise. So even for me, the whole journey of personal branding was something that I never considered early on in my career. But the importance of it and the benefit of being mindful in creating that brand for yourself truly came about for me when I started looking at my career as a as something that was important for me and something that really I valued as well. But it's interesting that you ask about, how things have evolved in a way today, because everything is virtual, right? You really don't get a chance to meet someone. They don't get to see you in person. And we are meeting so many new people every day, either through the phone or online. And it becomes then, for me at least, I feel like it has become important to really put my voice out there in various ways. So I've seen that, involving myself in conversations on LinkedIn, for example, is a huge way for me to really make myself stand out and create a, like you said, that element of being memorable in another person's, life even, right? And so you using articles to share my thoughts or insights, using videos like this to really talk about the work we do, etc. And also when using videos or articles, being careful, or just noticing the kind of words that I use, the way I present information, all of that becomes very important, I think today, especially because this is literally the only way people are getting to meet you anymore, right? And it's interesting because, this is something that we talk about a lot in our Conscious Woman program as well. The whole element of personal branding, and also how it does evolve with time, right? You can't say, oh, there's just here, this is the recipe for success if you want to brand yourself well. It does evolve, and being aware of how it has evolved over time is also important. And the topic of personal branding is something we talk about in all our programs, right? It's whether it is the coaching we do or whether it is our Conscious Woman program, it becomes important. Don't you think, Manisha, especially as you climb, higher and higher in your career, and then it's not just the work that you're doing that's speaking for you, right? There are so many various elements that really become important. And I know this is a conversation you and I have a lot, but even personal style then becomes so crucial to creating that brand for yourself. So tell me, Manisha, I know you have a very interesting journey with the whole evolution of personal style for you individually as well. How did that come about for you?
I think Divya, I'm passionate about all forms of expression. Uh, like you, I love writing. I feel each moment we are communicating, whether we are speaking or not. And I feel that style is is an important aspect that can be leveraged because it communicates so much about who we are, bringing it alive in form of colors, fabrics, textures. So ever since I was a child, that has fascinated me. Just a little tweak here or there can really change the whole vibe of style, how you are feeling. And the interesting thing is, so this was when I was studying image consulting. I understood that there's a cycle. So what we are wearing has an influence on how we are feeling. How we are feeling has an impact on how we are behaving. How we're behaving has an impact on how others perceive us and how they respond to us. That feeds in again. So, if someone says, hey, you're looking great today, what happens is the confidence goes up, and then that again feeds into how we are feeling, and the cycle continues. So that information was made it even more fascinating, that wow, that's a easy tweak and I already enjoy it. The other aspect, which recently there was an insight that came to me, was that clothes can also help us communicate our values. So for example, if I'm wearing something that comes from a local artisan, it communicates my value that I support sustainability. It's dear to my heart. My own culture is dear to my heart. I love sourcing things which are, locally made. I love recycling things. It speaks about, that the fact that I love conscious living. So I look at style that way also, that, hey, it can showcase my values, what kind of a life I like leading, who I like supporting. So yeah, that's been my journey of style, and how I feel style speaks and amplifies certain things that we are trying to communicate and project so that we attract our tribe. it can be such a great conversation starter, right? Like, we got started and the first thing I noticed was I like the vibrant pink, and hey, by the way, both of us are in pink, and it's a fun, easy conversation starter for people. Like, we know each other, but even for people who don't know each other, I don't remember how many times I've walked up to someone and just complimented them because I was just so fascinated by what they put together, and then we ended up having a great conversation. So yeah, that's style for me.
Yeah, I'd never thought of it this way, where you said your clothes can actually also reflect your values. And that's such an interesting point, no? Because yeah, we can actually showcase who we are through so many different elements of
Yes.
even what we wear. And I also like the point of, how you say what you wear really can influence how you feel then influences how you act. And it's hopefully a virtuous cycle, right? It's not something that really pulls you down. And funnily, like when I started wearing glasses, I realized suddenly people thought I was very smart, and I was like, wait, did I say anything? Because I wasn't getting the greatest grades at that time. And then I realized, no, just the fact that I was wearing glasses made me look smarter. And then why argue with that comment, at any point?
So interesting, interesting, Divyan. When you were sharing this, another thought that came to my mind was that about this cycle of feeling good, and then it amplifies the confidence, or however you're feeling, however you want to feel in that moment. It could be free spirited, fun, whatever. I mean, it could be serious, not so serious. That it gives us some control over it. Like, it's not totally random. I can choose to feel a certain way today, and my choice of clothes can deepen that. I feel that's a good to know, good to use. I mean, why not? Why not use it, right?
And it's something we talk about so much in our whole, conversation around mindfulness and bringing mindfulness to our daily lives as well, right? Looking at what are those elements we can actually control, because there is a lot we can and a lot we can't. And if something we can control can actually help us be a better person, right? At the end of the day, work better, feel better, all of that, then why not use it in a way also? And this whole conversation about personal branding really becomes very interesting then, because it's not only about saying, hey, I do this as a job, or this is my career. It is about showcasing yourself holistically as an individual and all of us have such varying tastes, varying opinions, all of that, right? But also showcasing who you are as an individual with a unique kind of point of view.
Yes.
Yeah. So to everyone who's watching, I hope there were some insights that you gained through our conversation around personal branding, and also how, the whole element of mindfulness really can play such a huge role in how you position yourself and brand yourself as an individual. And like we were saying, this is something that we do talk about a lot in our programs. And a program we're very excited about is the Conscious Woman program that is actually starting next weekend. So it's very exciting that that's starting up. If you'd like to know any more details about the Conscious Woman program, you can reach out to either Manisha or I, and we'll be happy to respond. And also, we'd love to hear from each of you. What has your own journey about understanding the whole concept of personal brand been? How have you been able to kind of showcase yourself, the work you do, etc., through your personal brand? We'd love to know more. Please do share your thoughts, your insights, or any stories that you think can really help us understand your journey as well. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Sure. Bye.
Bye.